supportive of Andrew Tate. From what I've seen, I don't know him personally, so I can't, but I like his messaging. I think he gives a lot of inspiration and that tough love that society needs, especially being a male man in this society. You're not allowed to be a man. You're not. It's frowned upon. It's toxic masculinity and examples. And do you know what? It's one of those examples need to be shown in order to keep people in tow. The pandemic has proved that. The pandemic is, is it a controlling measure, the Great Reset, whatever people want to, or is it just an IQ test? Is there something bigger coming down the line where people go, the powers to be, people pulling the strings, and it's not so much the governments, but the people that sit above that. You don't want to ruffle feathers to that point, and it's a case of just. But I think, like I talk about the IQ test, it's a case of like how easily manipulated are people? Very easily. How can we control people? Through fear, absolutely. But when you get people that can think for themselves, they're less easy to divide.
Yeah.
And because it's...
do you think that's why they go for Andrew then? Because he gets a lot of people to think for themselves.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And when you think for yourself, you become an asset. Because you've got a multi-dimensional way of thinking, not just a tunnel visioned way of indoctrinated thinking. This is right, this is how we should do it, this is how we should get through society. Education is super outdated in my eyes. Politics is super outdated in my eyes. If it wasn't for my wife, would I have my kids in school? Probably not.
That's actually the main thing keeping us in the country is the kids and the school.
Same.
We talk about maybe going somewhere else once they've grown up.
Would I love to take my kids out of school and teach them from home? Yes. English, maths, finances, the way the system works. Absolutely, I would pull them out tomorrow. But my wife's got different opinions, and I respect her opinions. Yeah. And I trust her opinions because she's the one trusted person in my life that I go to bounce ideas off. I'm not all for me and go, right, this is how it. Okay, I'll get your point of view. I'm happy with your point of view, and I'm happy to go along with the children. Are you happy? Yep, we're happy. Right, we go along with it. But
do you ever get her point of view and then do what you want anyway? Have you ever done that?
I always do that. But this one thing, because we have a shared interest. We've got our children. We're very, very, very lucky to have our children. We're very responsible for our children. But it's something that we've both brought them into the world, so we'll have a shared opinion on it. But I'm not saying I would pull them out. But it's something that as my mindset opens up and as my eyes widen, my reality is completely different to this outdated reality. That's why I'm so, I'm all for the metaverse, I'm all for cryptocurrency, I'm all for decentralization, I'm all for DeFi.
Because they stand for freedom.
Because they stand for freedom. But it's a system outside of the system ultimately. But it's a system that's governed by each other. We're not reliant on a system, we're not reliant on a government. I'm reliant on you to say this is such a trusted organisation, or such a trusted system really is. Without the community, there is no system. Yeah. We're here, the government will form a community. They'll give you housing if you haven't got a thing. They put you, cram you into this hole. They make you reliant on benefits. They make you reliant on certain jobs. They make you where the decentralised world and DeFi and the metaverse, it cannot work unless you and me don't get on. Unless you and me don't have that sort of potential trust there, or that I don't trust. So it's like I need you as much as you need me, rather than needing a system or a government and they don't need us. Yeah, that's what it is. It's like this, and that's what I like about that. But then you have a whole different system outside of the system that potentially is a threat. Well, that is a threat to the system. So what do? You take care of the threat outside of the system to suck it back into the system, which is happening with regulation right now with cryptocurrency. They're wanting to regulate crypto. They wanted to it's and all that would do is just create more divide, because You know, a lot of countries, UAE, have embraced crypto. You know, it's like people just end up moving out of whatever jurisdiction to go and live that life. And because that's so reachable, because it's so, you can almost touch that. That's why they're clamping down so hard on. That's why governments are clamping down so hard on societies, because there's that vision now that a world exists outside the system. But you know, but again, you know, I'm not saying I'm part of it. You know, I'm not saying get out the system, because the system is good for a lot of people. You know, it serves the people well. People that haven't got that drive to work, haven't got the you know, ability to, you know, to believe in themselves, to, you know, the capacity to realize their full potential. You know, it's great for, you know, for the majority of people. But the two worlds can't coexist, because the moment they do, you identify that. Look at your Andrew Tates. And what have they done? Well, I tell you what they've done. They've brought him back into the system, and they've destroyed that bridge for him. Bang, bank accounts, crypto, whatever you name it. Because that's what it is at the moment. What they're trying to do is merge the two worlds together, the decentralized world with the system. So that they can essentially make it non-decentralized anymore and control it. Of course, but what they're doing regulation is the bridge is there, right? Yeah. So the people you jump from one, but that bridge is being destroyed. And that, you know, it's like Asgard. That bridge, like, well, guess what? You can't go into that realm now. You can't go into that realm. You know, but if you're smart enough, you can bounce between the two. And that's when I believe that you outsmart the system. Is when you can use the system to your advantage and get out of it and escape it whenever you want. Yeah, that's being smart. That's, you know, but to get out of the system and then to slate the system and to go, come on, you know, then you're asking for trouble, because the system is bigger than any system out there at the moment. But one day, touch wood, an external system will collapse the current system that we live in.